All right, you guys know the rules in the DLLS land, baby. Anything that happens with your Dallas Cowboys, we'll figure out a way to pop on. Anything that happens with your Cowboys. So here's what we're doing: a little bit of house. My God.
It looks like Jeff is faded out. Just
Look like he's having a little bit of a pop issue.
don't make this a pop-up issue.
Oh,
Make
my
this,
fault. My fault.
this he can't handle Al Gore's internet. Al Gore's internet is befuddled Jeff.
Just kill me. It turns out the sick at a random building off Walnut Hill isn't the best. Brandon Aubrey, second round tender. TJ Bass, second round tender. Brock Hoffman, no tender. Peace, Brock. And Wanye Thomas, no tender. Peace, Wanye. I liked Wanye Thomas. And some people liked Brock Hoffman. But yeah, that's what you got going on right now. Is they're going to work their way towards a deal with Brandon Aubrey. They're going to tender him with the second round tender. If somebody wants to make him an offer and he wants to accept that offer, give me your second round pick, baby. It's official now. But I do think they'll work out a long-term contract. And then TJ Bass, same thing. Second round tender, and I would assume he's going to play on it. But anyway, men, what's up? Stuff in Cowboy land.
Well, I think one of the things when it comes to, Brandon Aubrey, you know, we love Brandon Aubrey, Butter Aubrey. He's done some good things for the Cowboys, but in the land of athleticism and in the football world, a lot of times we look at a kicker as just a kicker. Yeah, Jeff's struggling. So, but the Cowboys had a contract on the table right now that would have made him the highest paid kicker in, I'm assuming, NFL history. That wasn't something that Todd France and Brandon Aubrey thought was good enough. And so they begin to, I guess, put a better offer out there. The Cowboys didn't see fit to that offer. And now we're sitting here with the tender for Brandon Aubrey.
It's interesting that we're talking about Brandon
It better be
Aubrey.
interesting.
This is what we expected, right? He rejected their offer. He asked for 10 million. You didn't want to put the money out there, but he asked for 10 million. And the Cowboys said no. The offer that the Cowboys made to him, which was well back last September, was more than this tender he got. It was not 7 million, but it was close to 7 million, somewhere between 6.5 and 7 million. But it was under 7 million. It still would have made it the highest paid kicker in football. They're currently the highest paid kicker in football, makes 6.4 million. So it was a worthy offer. Let's put it.
Yep.
It's a worthy offer. It was respectable offer, more than respectable offer. It's going to make him the highest paid kicker in football. They wanted more. That's part of the negotiating thing. But understand, he's a restricted free agent, and so to keep their rights or make sure that they could get some form of be signed somewhere, they put the second round tender on him. That second round tender, of course, is 5.7, 5.8, which is less than what they offered him. So we know he's not going to play on the tender. He's either going to. And the point is, will the Cowboys pull their offer? And again, as Jeff pointed out before, he had difficulties. There's an opportunity for other teams to sign him, and if other teams do sign him for more than the franchise tag, or I'm sorry, the tender, and the Cowboys just have a right to match, or they could just take the second round pick. But is that the real story today? Is that the real story with the Cowboys? We know that they didn't tender Brock Hoffman. We expected that. We know they were going to tender TJ Bass because they value him. But the real story today happened last night because the Cowboys tried. They did the college try. They tried to get Max Crosby. They offered a first and a second. The Ravens wanted two firsts. They got two firsts from Baltimore, first year and the first next year. Are we happy that the Cowboys tried but didn't
I
get
don't
their guy?
I don't want to go down that road today. I honestly I don't. I don't want to go down that road today. This was an emergency pod for the Brandon Aubrey tender.
It's a kicker. It's a
Yeah,
kicker. We're talking about the
I,
damn kicker.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
We
Yeah,
didn't do a pod
I'm with you.
when they tendered Josh Butler on Friday. We didn't do a pod with Josh Butler.
Because here's my thing when it comes to with it being the kicker. One, it's the Cowboys, so we have to cover it 100%, right? But two in this as well. If the Cowboys had built a better roster, okay, if they had built the better roster, we wouldn't put this much emphasis on having to have this great of a kicker to support what they do. The reason why Brandon Aubrey has become such a hot commodity, now we said it before on our show, everybody kicking from 65 now. Everybody kicking it from 65 now. That used to be, kind of a group of men a select group of men who were able to do that. Not everybody's doing it from 65. Everybody's doing it from 60. It's become.
What happened? But what happened to the roster? They were 12-5, 12-5, 12-5, and then they've been out of the playoffs. I mean, did the roster just fall off a cliff? The offense is still one of the top offensive league. You get rid of Mike, you get rid of DeMarcus Lawrence. How did the roster cliff dive?
Well, I mean, I think a lot of it was held on by Scotch tape and thumbtacks. And when you get rid of generational talented players, now the other guys who were below average really looked that way. That you were masking it by having some band-aids on that defense. I think the historically the Cowboys offense has been and will always be the focal point of where a lot of the money is spent. That is how it's always been here in Dallas for the most part. It's the bad roster construction, bad drafts over the last couple of years. And so now you get into these games where you put so much emphasis on the offense to having to be perfect and or you needing you needing these 65 and 70-yard kicks to keep pace with some of the teams that you have to go and play against, because your defense, I mean, probably 2 out of the last 5 or 6 years have been historically bad, have been franchise historically bad and league historically bad. 2 out of the last 7 years or 6 years that you've had a defense out there who have been that bad. And when you don't replenish that, when you don't have players and, to use a baseball term, a farm system of guys that are able to come in and to just reload and not have to rebuild, you find yourself in a position where Aubrey is such an important key figure to your team that you have to come to the point where you're over. Here we are, another situation where the Cowboys have to pay so much for a particular player at the highest peak because of the poor roster construction and poor roster construction over the last couple of years.
So you happy they didn't give up 2 first-round picks?
Here we are. I don't want to talk about that today.
Come on, man. They're trying to win. They're trying to get CP help. Okay, this is the beginning, and we're really beginning free agency, and certainly Aubrey's part of that. Certainly they already tendered the franchise on Pickens, but the goal is to put a winner on the field next year. And the Cowboys, and there are a lot of Cowboy fans. Somebody's already in the chat talking about, I'm glad that they gave up 2 first-round picks. If that defense don't have a pass rusher next year, well, the fact that they didn't give up 2 first-round picks help you sleep at night because you didn't get Max Crosby. Well, that help you sleep at night.
Are you say that rhetorically, or you say that?
Yes, I mean both.
I'm gonna sleep good no matter what. I got a nice Serta Perfect Sleeper pillow top mattress.
Cowboy fans.
I got good thread count sheets. My comforter is really good. I got a 25-pound weighted blanket, and I spray my pillow down where you can lick the spray if I'm having a little trouble and I drink my cherry juice. So no matter what, I'm gonna sleep just fine.
You're gonna sleep just fine. Why do we always have drama with quarterbacks, receivers, defensive ends, and now a damn kicker? Well, should we be having contract drama with the kicker, as great as he is? Should we be having
this is self-inflicted because the Cowboys, they wait until the final hour to begin these negotiations and these talks. Where a lot of other teams who know that they want a particular player, who know that player is going to be a part of their future, they get deals done earlier so that they're not faced with this type of overarching drama about situations. And now that it becomes the center of news. Because let's be honest, if it wasn't the Dallas Cowboys, would this be even a story? Would Adam Schefter be tweeting this out about a tender being put on Brandon Aubrey. No, it's a story because it's the kicker of the Dallas Cowboys. We're fortunate that we work for a company that the kicker gets top billing on a Saturday at times, but this isn't a league wide story. This isn't a ground shaking story. This isn't one that will make you sit up out of your seat about it. It's the kicker, for God's sakes. And while he has been really good for the Cowboys for a long time, whether this team, the season that we're walking into, 2026-2027 season, if the season is hinging on whether or not Brandon Aubrey is a part of this team or not, then again, we're far, far off than where we need to be if that's what we're looking at this point in time.
Well, the bottom line is this is the beginning. This is the start of free agency. Legal tampering period starts on Monday. We're going to have a full show on Monday. Again, when something happens with the Cowboys, tune in to DLLS. We're going to be there. We're going to be on the spot. We're going to do emergency pods. Jesse, Clarence, Jeff has, certainly some issues with Al Gore's internet that they caused him to log off. But, hey, Brandon Aubrey is going to be a Cowboy one way or another, yes or no?
Yeah, he'll be a Cowboy. They'll get it worked out. They always do.
Hey, for Jesse, for Clarence, DLLS, if something else happens today, we'll be back. But for now, so long and stay dry.
Cheers. Stay dry.